What's up, guys? Today we have to talk about Jason Nash, Nikita Dragun, Ryland Adams, and funny enough, Trisha Paytas is somehow involved in all of these situations. It's a mess, so let's get into it.
Exposed. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Exposed. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Oh my God, expose you.
So let's start off with Jason Nash. A lot of stuff's been happening with Jason this week, and it's really messy. Jason is David's right-hand man, so he's been getting called out a lot these last few weeks. We all know Jason was in on that awful prank that David pulled on Seth, not once, but twice. And a lot of people are starting to realize how weird it is that Jason hangs out with all these university-aged kids, when honestly, they could probably be his kid. That's how big the age difference is. Well, on the latest episode of Frenemies, Trisha exposed some very interesting tea. During the whole David Dobrik cancellation last week, I'm guessing Jason went into panic mode because he texted Trisha Paytas. Yeah, not only did he text her, he sent her a heart emoji. He said, "Hi Trish, it's Jason. Just tried you. Are you available to talk? Call me back? Heart. Please." Literally, could you imagine having the audacity? You break up with your girlfriend when she's at her lowest in the hospital because your 24-year-old boss demands you to, allegedly, only to text her a heart years later when she's happily engaged just because your career is going down the drain? That's absolutely crazy. But that's not all. It gets worse. Trisha then went on to share text messages between Jason and his current suspected girlfriend. Now, don't ask me how Trisha even got her hands on these texts. I swear this girl is Gretchen Wieners with all of her tea. So Trisha tweeted, "Here I thought maybe, just maybe, he had 1 ounce of regret to say I'm sorry, but no, it was just hoping it would all go away." So Trisha shared a text message of Jason saying to his alleged girlfriend, "Any better today?" And the girlfriend goes, "How are you?" And Jason says, "I'm okay, calling X now so all this stops." And then the girlfriend later on says, "How'd it go?" And Jason says she hasn't called back yet. So Jason's over here thinking all of this would just stop and Trisha would stop caring about what the vlog squad did to Hannah if she just heard his voice. Like, what? As if all this wasn't enough, Hollywood Fix posted a video of Jason and his alleged girlfriend having a very heated discussion in their car. The title of the video said, "Jason Nash and Rachel have a heated emotional exchange during David Dobrik drama in his Tesla." You can see this girl and Jason having a really heavy conversation. Then at one point, Jason puts his head on the steering wheel and the girl eventually gets out looking really upset and sits on a curb. Now, normally I would be like, oh my God, this is such an invasion of privacy. I can't believe they posted this. But it's kind of widely suspected that influencers actually call Hollywood Fix on themselves to get people's attention online. Kind of like a win-win situation because Hollywood Fix gets the views and the influencers get the attention. This video got a lot of views and people are leaving the funniest comments underneath. This looks like a girl fighting with her dad because he won't let her go out with her friends. She probably saw the "Hey Trisha" with a heart, "Please call me back" in his phone. She's probably yelling at him because he texted Trisha with a heart. I know I keep saying this, but it just gets crazier. Jason's alleged girlfriend posted a video only a few hours ago titled "My Message to Jason Nash and Trisha Paytas." This girl's name is Rachel, she's 23 years old, and she met Jason in Chicago before she moved to LA. In the video, she claims they're just friends, and she wanted to meet up with Jason in person to talk about the drama that was happening because she had really bad anxiety. She says after that Tesla crying video, Jason didn't even reach out to her to see if she was okay, and he still hasn't messaged her. Trisha actually reached out on her own and sent her a really nice message, and we now know she then sent her conversation with Jason to Trisha. She apologized to Jason on camera for sending those messages to Trisha because she was under the impression they were gonna stay between them and wouldn't be put on the internet. She says she has nothing bad to say about Jason because he's a good friend to her. I'm actually kind of hoping Jason didn't call Hollywood Fix on himself because if he did, this is so embarrassing. Moving on, let's talk about Nikita Dragun shading James Charles and Trisha Paytas shading Nikita. So we talked about this last week, but Nikita's Snapchat show got picked up for a second season and it's currently airing on Snapchat. Well, Nikita Dragun got a bit confident this past weekend and decided to throw a little bit of shade on Instagram, writing, "Cancel me as many times as you want. My show is still running." Like, okay, it's Snapchat, let's take it down a few notches, but people think Nikita is shading James Charles. As we all know, James was recently dropped from his show, Instant Influencer. He claimed it was his show that he created years ago and finally YouTube picked it up, but then YouTube kicked James out and got a new host. So people think Nikita saying my show is still running is direct shade towards James. So Def Noodles saw Nikita's post and he tweeted out, "Nikita Dragun says cancel me as many times as you want, my show is still running." This as the second season of her reality show premieres on Snapchat. Trisha Paytas then quote tweeted Def Noodles and wrote, "On Snapchat, laughing emoji." People were confused when they saw this tweet, thinking like, did we miss out on some Nikita x Trisha Paytas beef that we all forgot about or something? Turns out, no we didn't. Trisha is just mad at her for not following COVID guidelines. She wrote, "No beef, but she never wears a mask ever, thinking she's above it for some reason, and she's friends and platform's actual Lopez brothers, James Charles. She deserves an extinct platform like Snapchat." Finally, moving on, let's talk about Ryland Adams. So Ryland Adams has been getting a lot of backlash recently. The weird thing is, you would think the backlash would be because he's married to Shane Dawson, but it's actually because of how he treated Trisha Paytas. Ryland knew that Jeffree hurt Trisha, yet he continued to put Jeffree on his podcast and promote their friendship, knowing what happened during the trip to Vegas. Ryland quickly addressed Trisha on his podcast when the drama between them all went down, and ever since that day, a lot of comments on Ryland's social media aren't the best. Ryland has finally opened up and talked about the backlash he's been receiving on social media, and he claims it makes it hard for him to want to be creative and put content out, especially when people are always commenting on how he seems to be bored of his own content.
I gotta remember what I've been preaching even earlier in this video, is that I need to reframe my mindset where like turn what could be a negative into a positive, because I started scrolling for 2 seconds and it just was enough to make me feel crazy. And there's a lot of love and a lot of support, but it is just this thing where like it's just a bigger test. Like every time that I start feeling really good, something will like bring me a peg down. And when the world seems to be and I mean my world, like when all of my platforms seem to be hatred towards me, it is hard to get inspired to create. And then if I start looking at any of that, it's like, why would I want to create? Why would I want to make anything to be met with like, he doesn't look inspired or he wants to do this? Well, yeah, I'm trying to push through because I don't want to just like melt into my couch into nothing.
Def Noodles on Twitter actually posted this clip and someone underneath wrote, "I almost genuinely felt sorry for a moment, but then I suddenly remembered how they treated Trisha and gaslighted their audience and still choose to indulge in Jeffree Star." Someone replied to them and said, "Same. Like maybe if they took accountability and at least tried to apologize to their long-term friend who stood by them, I could feel sorry for him." So these people are talking about Trisha Paytas and what went down in Vegas. Shane was Trisha's friend for like 12 years and he ended up picking his 3-year friendship with Jeffree Star over Trisha. Trisha actually saw these replies to Ryland's video venting about the backlash online, and she decided to say something. Him and Shane telling me they had no idea the evil of Jeffree when I cried to them for a year about it, and then still supporting, working with, and being best friends with that petty human speaks volumes. They made their deal with the devil, and it still breaks my heart. I look at Ryland with such disgust, and I hate that about me. I hate that I have such anger in my heart towards him and Shane. When I see him, it makes me physically sick. I don't condone hate online at all, but I've never been double-crossed with such coldness in my life than Shane and Ryland. It was so sick to hear Ryland straight up lie through his teeth about the trauma I shared. They are both manipulative and never to be trusted. When you make a deal with the devil, you can't expect all sunshine and rainbows. Anyways guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button because it really does help my channel, and I'll see you next time.